Bonjour, everybody. How are you? Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Musique.
I'm JR.
I'm Ty Boissonneau. How are you? This is the Ty One On channel. And ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk outlaw country.
Outlaw. I wish we had cowboy hats.
I know. I feel like I could have made that happen. Probably
Next season when the budget's up a bit.
Yeah,
when we get
we get that Netflix.
We
money.
get that Netflix budget.
You know what I'm saying? This episode of Let's Talk Musique is sponsored to you by West Coast Guitars at 2741 East Hastings. We just absolutely love these guys. Everything you need for your guitar needs, like really specified stuff. Gorgeous guitars in there. Please go check them out. Again, 2741 East Hastings Street. Jay.
Yeah.
Let's get into some outlaw country.
Yeah, outlaw country this week. A special episode.
Yeah, we were talking how we're going to do some genre stuff. And
this will be our first genre kind of episode, so bear with us. We're working through this.
We are.
We're not doing a single artist this week. We are doing a genre. And that genre is... Outlaw country. Yeah, we have to say it like that. You can't say it.
Yeah. You'll be docked pay.
Yeah. If not, it's like the Eagles.
Yeah. See, I got docked for that. People don't know. I got docked for that for saying the Eagles.
Nice. Yeah. So this was a fun episode to look back on, like because when we decide on our genres or our artists. It's so nice. Yeah, we have we have a memory of them in this, but we may not have listened to this type of stuff for a while. It's not completely in our playlist all the time. So it's so nice diving back into a full genre of music.
For sure.
It was beautiful going through playlist of outlaw country and just going back to that zone of music and putting yourself there and
I've definitely noticed as I've gotten older, these tracks have been making it into my playlist more often.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So every week I take a few of these songs that we've dived into and I throw them back into my playlist and resurface them into my life again because I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Such a good
But this one needs its own thing. Like it's a genre, so I've made a whole new playlist.
Yeah, for sure.
Music I only can listen to like when I'm in the country or something. There's certain moods, right? Like drives. I would listen.
It's hard when you're on the city bus.
It's hard just listening to Waylon Jennings while I'm sitting on the 95. It's
Some
not
crackheads jerking off.
It's not the right mood music for someone jerking off and smoking meth beside me. You need more of an EDM. An EDM beat is like, I want to match his pace.
Exactly.
No one wants a country paced fap.
No.
I don't know how this turned into this, but
very quickly, I might add.
And very quickly, it's gone off the rails.
No, sir. Come on. We were just talking about guys jerking off on the bus or fapping.
That's
on the
true.
Bus.
That's very normal.
Well, listen to Waylon Jennings.
Waylon Jennings. Outlaw country, man. Yeah.
What was your first
me personally? Because again, if you follow along, this is a genre and a style of music. Well, the country part of it was more easy to get by my parents for listening to.
For sure.
Even though, and because some of it was dripped a little bit into religion, like Johnny Cash always jumped back and forth and he wrote these religious tunes. So Johnny Cash was my number one as far as the Man in Black, someone who had an outlaw persona playing music and I thought was pretty badass, man. The Man in Black, dude.
Yeah, the Man in Black. I mean, how can you go wrong?
Yeah.
How can you
what
go
about
wrong,
yourself?
Johnny? Well, like I remember, I loved like Johnny and everyone from Sun Records. I feel like Johnny Cash was like a little bit, like kind of like he kind of paved the road a little bit.
He did. As far as
like being because he's a little bit before these guys.
Yep.
Yeah, but still, like when you,
But then when you think of the Highwaymen, like there's Johnny,
because
he fit in perfectly. But they knew him as that guy who
and he got to bring those guys onto his show and that kind of
gave
shit.
them a more broader country audience.
Yeah. I think about like camping somewhere and
that's what I mean.
My Nana definitely had this.
Yeah.
Some were playing definitely Waylon Jennings was the first
Waylon, man.
of the so I will always be
partial to him.
Yes, absolutely. But there's so many people involved by the end of it, right? And it's like, and then you get like Hank Jr. by then and all that stuff. And
Chris Christopherson as well.
Willie, the Blazer Brothers. Like it just goes on and
It's a long list. A lot of people.
George Jones, who kind of rides both. ends of it. Like
it's a good way to keep your persona more. I'm still a badass dude. Well,
it's insane,
even though I'm a part of an industry,
and it's like the stories that all these people have, and the players are phenomenal. Every like
all
band
those
member.
backing outlaw bands, like
just
everything you hear going on in the Highwaymen. Like you have Willie Nelson, Hank, and all the rest of them, but they're not playing those solos or anything. You know, you got Johnny just.
Yeah,
he's just strumming along, and Willie.
They're not even
but they're the bands, the backing bands. Those are the guys. That's what you're hearing mostly. And,
and it was very similar to like a Motown situation where it's like tons of interchangeable people who followed other people, and
a lot of the same people on so many different things.
Big time,
hard to keep track of.
Very hard to keep track of who wrote what in this. Man. I try to be looking up stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, because like by the time you get down to it, you have like an interview with two dudes who are like 80 now.
And it's a country
trying
thing.
To remember.
It's a country thing too that's big on. For some reason, songs just get passed along and along and along, and it's hard to track down who originally wrote something. But it's more of the song is. It's more become a thing. Oh, this person is most notable for that version of this song.
Yeah.
Instead of him being the person who wrote it, all that. But yeah, a lot of country is like that. Like just
big time, and it's kind of what started this outlaw thing to get.
Yeah,
to kind of get away with it, like Nashville at the time because Johnny was part, Cash was still. It was again. All our episodes kind of come down to this. There's always like some divide that happens, and wasn't like a West Coast East Coast rap thing.
Yeah,
but it was a rock and roll versus country thing that was like very like Nashville took it very seriously to be like we're gonna be tight and clean cut and button down and. You sing about your dog. And and that kind of thing. They didn't like this ad, and they told you, and the record companies had just a stranglehold on these artists. It was terrible deal.
And the production companies everything had to be so produced, like everything was overproduced. Where it's exactly outlawish in the way that people like they got together and they're like, we don't want that. What you're pushing and what you're tying us down to. They were sick of the slick production. They were sick of
being told what to sing, and they couldn't bring in the players that they wanted, the heavy hitters that they wanted to play.
So
Willie has enough. Willie's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And he goes to Texas in like 71 or something like that. And it's like there's just these crazy like hybrid cowboy hippies in Texas. So he's playing at the Alamo, I think is like the famous kind of bar. And he ends up calling Waylon in 72 to be like, you got to get down here. And I guess there's this famous story about Waylon the first night that they play at the Alamo, and he's like, Waylon kind of looks out into the crowd, right? And it's like hippies and shit. And he's like, this isn't gonna go well.
This is not gonna go well.
He tells Willie, he's like, if I go out there, they give me a hard time, I'm gonna beat your ass. And he goes out and they fucking love it. They're all about it, right?
Yeah. But he had never been exposed to an audience like that.
Nobody had. It was such a weird. Yeah, he was like literally. I found our audience. You need to get your ass here.
Yeah. And like you had to jump on that wave immediately, or that was it.
And then, man, then with Waylon comes Jesse Coulter and Tom Paul Blazer and a bunch of other, and then all these other guys, Billy Joe Shriver, and all these other people started coming because the scene is so fucking hot.
Yeah, and they were all searching for something, but they were stuck, like you said, to the stranglehold of Nashville hillbilly shit.
Yeah,
and so once they knew there was an option, the door just opened, and all these artists were like, "Yeah, we want this. We don't." And
a big part of what got them through, like playing through Texas and stuff like that, was the Navajo Nation. They fucking loved Waylon Jennings. So, like they would just go. They would go do like a month. Yeah. They would go like a month stint up wherever. And just fucking there'd be parades and shit. Like he just
who wouldn't want to be a part of that movement?
Like if you guys need to go watch Tales from the Tour Bus, because the first whole season is basically just country, and there's so many great episodes on outlaw stuff. But it's
amazing stories.
The stories are endless, and it's hilarious. And it's like this should happen. There's so many guns involved. Everybody gets shot. Like every single one of the persons that we have mentioned so far has shot somebody or been shot.
They really took the outlaw.
They don't care. They're literally sitting next to each other, being like, "Remember when you shot me? That was great.
Remember when we got so wasted?
You were drunk."
And it's so amazing. It has such a rich history.
Oh yeah,
like the stories. Like I'm talking like these are ward level type stories to me. Like I could sit around and listen to these stories
all damn
just
day.
how they functioned and were so reckless.
Yeah,
like they were so reckless.
Yeah, and then, so like add all that, and then the amount of drugs being consumed
is so much drugs
would put so many people to shit. Because you're like, oh, whatever, outlaw, like country music. How many, like, what are they just boozing? No.
You think it's some fake country artist.
No, they're doing
tough.
Everything. They're doing Angel Dust before.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Before I think they had the first batch
was literally
of Angel Dust.
It was literally anything goes in those days for them.
The amount of
how did they get any music done?
And I don't know, like, but just they're on the road so much. That's like such a big part of it, right? Is like,
but again, not having to go to Nashville and have these producers take weeks and weeks and months to produce and release stuff.
And and tell
so
you
they're
what you
just
have
recording
to play.
Their stuff somewhere.
Yeah, and we want to record Billy Joe
and they're just
Driver
throwing
song
it out there.
Fucking dope.
Yeah. So it worked with that lifestyle, I guess, but. They were really outlaws for a while. Like they really wanted to. Bring back
it's so funny too because like, when you see when you see older footage of Willie Nelson or Waylon, right? It's like they're part of that back in the Nashville days. They're totally part of it. They've got the rhinestone like clean cut, fucking pompadour, like the whole mission. And then like they go to Texas and it's just like fucking grizzly ass.
Willie's
shit.
Out of control.
Yeah, like Waylon Jennings looks like he's like 8.5 foot tall. Like he just looks. Do you know what I mean?
Like a
he's
monster
just
of a human.
Big, just a tall. He even kind of walks kind of.
Like he was holding up an 8-foot
and that Telecaster
torso.
with like, oh, dude, like the guitars are amazing. Like the Telecasters that he had with like the leather like binding around it. Oh my god, dude, it's gorgeous. And then of course, Willie Nelson's guitar. It's just been worked on. I watched like his luthier. I watched the thing on like he's like I don't know why he keeps playing it. Like he can afford other guitars.
Yeah. But it's like we talked about with Tom Morello. It's just that one guitar.
Cahoot, without trigger. Like I mean, he's still Willie Nelson. Don't get me wrong.
Sure, but they hold on to something. So, things are special to.
Yeah.
No matter what amazingness or how quickly and easy that could be fixed and replaced. Yeah. It's not about that. With some people. And if that keeps their drive and their creativity going and their love and passion for it, I think that has a big part of it. You just you can't let go of that shit.
Big time. Willie Nelson has also been dope my entire life too. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
Right. I've never like he's always just like in cameos and movies smoking weed.
It's basically he's always been that cool old dude that you could laugh at with your parents, but you realize he's talking about weed, mom and dad, the stuff you are not for at all. Yeah. But they're able to laugh and like they saw it in a certain level. And
another big reason why Willie went to Nashville or got out of Nashville because he was like, want to live. Want to live the life I want.
Open life and be a country star in Nashville.
I just want to smoke weed.
Oh man, classic. So much like of a catalog from these artists because they were releasing so much music, like outlaw country and country in general. Back in those days, albums were just
they pump it out, man.
They pumped it out
and gems.
Yeah, gems. Yeah. There's a lot of hidden gems that. Just don't get talked about, don't get looked at because there was so much of it and it's all so story driven. I love the songs like how Outlaw Country tells you a story in their song. Yeah. And you're listening to it, you're like, yeah, I feel that. And like to me, that's such a special feeling when I connect with that. I'm like, I feel like
I don't have a wife, but if she did, she would divorce me. Yeah. I get it. I totally understand.
I've been to a bar and I've sat there and I've had that glass with ice cubes. And thought about shit and got sentimental.
It's been smoky.
It's been smoky. I've had a double. Yeah. I've known women that were crazy. Like you relate to that. But deep down, you always felt they were so genuine about it. Or like if you were with them, you felt like you would be like, wow, in amazement the whole time.
They're like living it, and that's just it. They encompassed that whole thing. There's nothing phony about it by any means.
Right.
It was so.
It's not like the hip hop of today or certain hip hop where you claim to be something, you live a lifestyle. For them, this was it. Like, this really was what they were living at the time.
It wasn't like Tekashi Jennings.
That's right.
Yeah,
they may have had the same braids as Willie.
Although he's getting a lot of bring ups in this show. Just so you know, there.
Don't
shoot.
Edit that out.
Yeah. Bleep it. You heard me?
It. Takeshi gets bleeped like
bleep
like
it.
swear word.
When I say Tekashi 6ix9ine, you bleep it. That stupid editor better be listening. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I wonder where he's at.
Son of a bitch. I think the album for me that just about them like encompassing everything was their album. It's 1976. It's just the Outlaws. And it's
that was kind of
like
the
amount of fucking tracks on that album, or it's like front to back. It's pretty unbelievable. And I love when they get even though like the wives and stuff like that, like Jessie Coulter's, like her voice is amazing. She's fantastic.
Oh, and she's probably the biggest female outlaw artist, I would say.
Because it's like Tammy Wynette, it's like doesn't really quite fit.
Again,
she's
a little more on the country,
a little more on the
side,
a little more on the Nashville.
A little more Nashville,
for sure.
Yeah, but
the amount of shit that you have to put up. Like, he literally writes a song for you to sing with him about how he's just like, it's hard not to fuck other women when I'm on the road.
When I'm on the road, I'm a trifling man.
I know you're at home crying, but I don't fucking care. Like, holy shit.
You're watching the kids and making sure food is ready while I'm out here having sex with Betty.
Wynette's credit where it's like, she's dealing with George Jones, who's like, it looks like squeaky clean Nashville, but he's a fucking drunk mess. And he's like shooting people left, right, and center as well. It's still happening in Nashville. It's just more open in Texas. And she comes out with a song called Stand By Your Man. And it's like fucking epic. And it's such a good song. It's
such a good song. And that's so amazing to know that.
No
little
matter
backstory.
what he does, even if he's shooting people,
he's out there
drunken rampage. People. You gotta stand by him.
Stand by him.
And you also gotta sing duets about your husband cheating on you on the road.
That was the biggest. They're literally telling each other the story in a song form. Yeah.
How does that happen? How do you? Hey, babe.
Relationships are so different.
You wanna try out this new song I got?
You still mad? You still mad? I think we could write a song about how mad you are. And here's this new track.
Yeah.
Hey, are these lyrics personal? No. They're metaphors. They're all metaphors. But you used your name here.
Yeah.
Oh man. And they made it work though.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Platinum records.
Unbelievable how fucking good. Well, what do you think? Should we get into top five?
Let's do it. Let's do top five.
All right, let's giddy.
You want to start it off or should I?
Go for it.
All right.
Go for it.
Okay, honest, in no particular order, because again, it's a genre.
I think every episode we go over this. It's not,
but as a genre, especially,
right.
But the biggest group for me, you were saying the Outlaws. For me, it was the Highwaymen. Like I know they're a bit later in the outlaw country thing. In '85 is when it's just a super group, right? Of them getting together. But what a super group! You have Johnny Cash, Waylon, Jennings.
Johnny's always wearing the long duster too. He's always got that duster.
Watch their live. There's a full live concert. It was released in 2016. I don't know when they did it in sometime in the 90s, but it's so amazing. Yeah, all four of them just lined up, and it's just each one of them is such a legend. So obviously the first song for me is that song they did, the Highwayman.
So good,
like from that album in 1985. Talking about stories, like each one of them going through a story of almost like it's their own connection to their own style of music in their own way. You could tell each one of them that's their writing and that's their style, and just it was such a beautiful thing to every time the next verse started and another artist started, a smile starts and I'm like, oh, that's Waylon or that's Chris. Like you just like the voices, the playing, they all have special. Like epic kind of baritone-y, maybe not Chris, but right. You know what I mean? Right. And Willie, I suppose. Yeah. But it's just so great to distinguish. But to hear them all on it's fantastic. Songs. The supergroups are always great. It's so good. Yeah. The Wilburys, I was all about them too. Because you give each of them a verse and it's so each verse is epic and it's like, wow, and then at the end you're like, what a freaking song. It was on a journey.
It was on the highway, man.
It was on the highway. Another one. This is more of a Johnny. It's a Johnny Cash song, but when they did it as the Highwaymen, and that's Ghost Riders of the Storm.
Yeah, that's a really good version.
In that one, in the 1992 live version, it's so amazing on that album. Yeah.
Just the phrase Ghost Rider.
Makes you feel badass.
Sick.
It's so sick. And it's so
dope.
outlaw country.
It is, yeah.
Because you're thinking
it's also metal as fuck.
It's metal as fuck. Man.
It's everything,
Ghost
dude.
Rider.
Yeah. Like, who doesn't love that? Who doesn't want to be that?
Yeah. So,
I don't want to be a ghost rider.
That just already gives you a
chills
feeling of
up and
chills.
down your spine. Yeah, dude.
It was a perfect Johnny song
for sure
back in the day.
And a really good version. You're right.
Yeah. Really good version with those four. Number 3 for me, Waylon Jennings, Suspicious Minds. I'm just gonna pick that one. That's probably one that I connect with the most because it's what my uncle used to play when I was a kid all the time, and he would play guitar in front of me and stuff. But hearing him play that song in the car and stuff was one of my earliest memories.
Nice,
probably. And then I gotta throw in a couple from Hank. Family Tradition.
Yeah, dude.
Like I don't know if you have that on your list.
I got some subs to possibly put in, but yeah.
Dude,
the
story, like you're hearing the story and that story in that song, I'm like, that's me. I feel you, Hank. I feel you.
That song is so good. It feels like you can hear his dad be like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like
every time he says it's the family tradition, I feel like his dad is like,
and it didn't stop there by any means, dude. No. Look how there's like we're in like the 4th now.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So and they're all good. I don't mind them all.
Good. There's something special in that.
100%.
And for my last song, there's so many. Like again, maybe I'll just choose a Willie song because my other Hank Williams song was going to be Outlaw Women. Just the harmonica and organ in that song. Mm-hmm. But Willie Nelson, Shotgun Willie.
Ooh, yeah.
The horns throughout that song. And the solo,
he's always just put in awesome shit.
It's just so random from what outlaw country was doing at the time.
Totally.
Too. And so I'm hearing these horns and I'm like, what the fuck is that, Willie? But Willie's just high and doing his thing.
Willie's high.
Willie doesn't care. And Willie probably drove by some people with some horns and was like, hey, get in here. And then
you holding.
And then that solo, it was not your typical country solo, like
definitely.
It wasn't a twangy solo.
Good pick.
It was a rock solo almost. Yeah. Like you could hear the single note Telecaster, almost fucking single notes just going on.
Oh, them tellies, man, through and through. Them tellies.
Them tellies had a special place in music at that time.
100%.
I got to go with that. Yeah, that's got to be my favorite. I have 100 more. Man in Black by Johnny. So many Johnny Cash songs, but Johnny's got to just be an artist later in the future.
Yeah,
probably.
I think so.
We'll leave it for that.
I think so.
How about you, man? Let's hear it, buddy.
All right. Like I said, I'm super biased towards Waylon. I just think he's just great. Like I said, he's like a Frankenstein-like character to me.
Yeah.
Bigger than life sort of situation.
Yeah.
And it's the first track that I kind of remember like grooving to. Like I was like young, dude. Like I'm talking like 6 or some shit like that. Rambling Man.
Oh,
just fucking. Oh, it's like you could just fucking be on a horse like that. Like no problem, dude. No,
it's almost
for
like
sure.
The rhythm was built around the.
Great guitar like callbacks with this. Like he's been down in New Orleans and it'll bend with that. Oh, it's fucking. It's super great. And then the way they're able to go into the kind of the pre-chorus is like it picks up and it's like it's a very horse trotty and then like into more of a gallop and then back into trot.
You're along for this trip.
The capability of these bands to speed up and slow down and to feel all that shit and be like just tight
on point.
All fuck.
Yeah.
And be that fucked up on drugs. They said that they used to be like meet up before the shows and be like, "What are you taking?" And be like,
"That's
all right,
wild.
I'm taking two, like, but just so we're all on the same level." So they would take all the same shit, but like
they can't be like, "Oh man, Ron over there is fucking. He shouldn't have had that fourth." You know, but that's why I asked earlier. I was like, "How did they get any of this done? How did they even write?" But
Anytime I've done like stimulants like that, and I've done my fair share.
Yeah.
I don't get I talk about doing shit, or like
you want to do shit.
Yeah, but you don't actually do shit.
But you actually, I guess some people, that's just how you function.
Yeah, that's
and, like,
wild.
You create that way. That's your normal.
Although it's like I could see like their road life is so intense. It's like it's probably just to prop your ass up and go on stage. Yeah,
that is your daily life
man.
for so long. That
it's wild.
Yeah, it's different. We can take those drugs and go chill.
Okay, and then I also have a soft spot for like I love the ballady kind of mamas don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. That song will bring a tear to any man's eye. Let me tell you.
If that doesn't touch you in some way.
Oh man, are you kidding me? It's so good. Another thing I loved about Waylon and stuff like that was kind of different from the other Outlaw stuff was like, yeah, he had this Telecaster, but when he really got to Texas, he changed it to have more of like it was almost like a phaser pedal was on it. Like it kind of had this washy, like jangly, washy, light phaser tone on it, which was again
unheard of at that
fucking
time.
What? Yeah, it was like clankety clank clank clank, like super twangy shit.
Yeah,
you didn't do it, and it was still twangy, but it had this. There is like a fucking phaser on it.
There's something added to it,
right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, man.
I think I did Family Tradition as well. I'm gonna go with Family Tradition because it was just there's just so many.
It's
yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
There's nothing else to say. You just gotta go listen to it now. You stop this, pause, go listen to it. You come back and continue the episode. It's that fucking good.
And then listen to it again after.
And then listen to it again afterwards. Yeah, all these fucking jams. Just
there's moods. That's what I was saying in the beginning. Like these songs will, if you've never dove into outlaw country, or like a lot of people are too young for that to live through the era. It doesn't mean you can't go back on it, because I'm too young for the era too. Yeah, as Ty. But do yourself a wonder and just do it one time. You'll find the right spot for it.
Yeah,
in your life.
Do your fucking homework.
Yeah. But like, there's a spot for that playlist.
Yes,
in your life.
100%.
Like, as much as you think that music's long and gone, and that style's never coming back or whatever, it will. Everything repeats. Just so you know. But there's a spot for it today. Like in your life, you will find a spot where you just want to hear "Mama, Don't Let Your Boys Grow Up." You're gonna want to hear "Family Tradition" at some point.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, was that 3?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go with Willie. I'll go with "Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain." Just
Willie paints such a mood.
Oh, does he ever? He's like Bob Ross with a song, dude.
And we're just
I bet if you picked them fucking them Wendy's girl fucking braids of his, you'd get a Bob Ross fro.
Probably dips them in some sort of paint, and you could make a painting.
Dude, what if he painted with? I mean,
that's what I mean. Like, wouldn't that be amazing? Just what brushes?
We're gonna go ahead and put a happy little marijuana plant right here.
Right here. He looks a little lonely. Let's put a next one right beside him.
Yeah.
And here's me smoking.
Yeah. Here's me eating it.
All right. Here's a picture of just marijuana plants.
Let's go ahead and make his eyes a little more red.
Outlaw painting.
Yeah. Okay, and then top it all off, I'll go with it has a shout out to that song, to Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, Looking Back, Texas. Which is just like just a song about. It's a little bit later. It's kind of I think it's kind of when Waylon's probably done his first stint of rehab after I shouldn't laugh. I know what it's about, but So it's kind of like it's a song that he's kind of written to. I think it's the kind of Jesse about. Can we just go back to like. Let's go back to when we first got to Texas. Let's go to Looking Back, Texas. He's like, not about keeping up with the Jones, because like, they got all this money by the end of it. It's crazy and all this shit, but it's
a great,
and again, super washy phaser guitar. I don't know how to explain it. It is just,
it's a great retrospective look.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of a set of my grandparents for sure. Like Waylon just for so there'll always be a special heart for all that stuff, but. As far as the fuck you attitude of the Outlaw was like so great. Who doesn't identify with that as
exactly 100%
a teenager growing up listening to music?
Yeah. And that's why at that time, like, kids want angsty stuff. Kids want to go against the grain. Kids, whether it's with your gangster rap at the time, they needed an outlet. Yeah. Oh my God, it bothers my parents. I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
It bothers the man. I'm gonna fucking listen to it, and that had its time. That was that for that
for
period,
sure, 100%.
Yeah, like just such honesty though. You feel the honesty in the songs, like when they're telling the stories. You know that, yeah, maybe even less dulled down, like, or I mean, a little more dulled down, because if they told the actual truth,
you'd be like, nah.
You didn't shoot all those people. You didn't take all those drugs and now write these masterpieces.
They shot more people.
Right, exactly.
And wrote more masterpieces.
And did more drugs
than
they ever said they did. Just, you got to keep it believable, even though life is more crazy than the art they created.
It's wild.
Yeah, man.
It's wild. All right. Awesome episode.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Tune in next week when we are going to discuss. Hold on. I'm going to hold my mic.
What's next week?
Motorhead.
Ace of Spades.
Yeah. We're going to get into
Take
Lemmy.
a look back at Lemmy and all them.
Fucking rights, bud. Looking at a little medal for you. Thank you to West Coast Guitars for sponsoring the show. We will catch you next Tuesday. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.